What about Randy Savage? What was he like?
I like Randy. Randy was Randy. Randy, when you saw him in the ring, he wore through the goddamn airports and all that stuff too. The biggest thing that got me is when I first came, I always heard him when he talked on TV. I said that can't be his real voice. All I said to me was his voice. I said, look at Barb. Barb, that's his voice. I said, look at this here, man. This is his real voice.
Because he's doing so many years, so the voice get used to it.
I mean, you know, I never realized that was his real voice in that. So, but Randy was always a very, very nice man. Yeah. Always very nice.
We heard a lot of stories about how he used to like lock Elizabeth up in closets and Poughkeepsie and stuff like that. He was really overprotective of her. Did you ever witness any of that?
He was very overprotective. He did. He looked after. She was his wife, but he really looked after a lot. I mean, one time I know some guys were getting dressed in this one area because it's the only way they could, and she happened to come around the corner real quick, and then she turned right back real quick, and then Randy got mad at all the guys instead. What are you doing this? The only place that those guys had to dress. There's no other place in that stuff, you know.
Right.
And you know, I know that Randy was very overprotective of his wife at the time.
Yeah, one time when we went, I don't know if you went there too, we went on a, we went on a tour to England. And while we were at the airport, you know, Liz was there, you know, waiting for the bus, and Randy was talking to someone. And here come the nasty boy. Mm-hmm. You know how nasty. Here come the nasty boy. I think it was the dark hair. He just passed Liz and fart. I mean, he was farting and Randy goes, oh, that's it, brother. That's it, brother. He closed the thing. So he called Vince, and Vince flew a Concorde. You know those planes?
Right, yeah.
Concorde?
Yeah.
Concorde. And, no, he didn't flew a Concorde. He booked Liz's ticket on the next Concorde, flew back home.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I thought maybe the next boy, you know.
Before you guys left, what are your thoughts on Ric Flair?
I like Rick.
Yeah.
I like Rick. I think Rick is one of the best wrestlers there ever has been in the business. He's got the three things that I believe are very important in wrestling. That's charisma, he can talk, and the guy can sure wrestle.
Yeah.
That's the three things I believe in wrestling. He can do them all. He's a very smart man, obviously, because he's still around. He's still at the top.
Right.
Still at his age, still at the top.
It's amazing. What about Flair when he came into the company? The boys welcomed him with like open hand.
Yeah, there was Rick. I could say Rick. A lot of guys have been about Rick before, and Rick was a top performer. Yeah. And Rick was just like one of the boys. He'd be there, shake everybody. Rick always come and shake everybody's hand, say hi to everybody. Mm-hmm. There was never a problem with that. Everybody gave him the respect, and he was at the top of an airplane, so he should come in. There's no reason he can't be at the top there. The guy deserves it.
Right. Also, you worked with, of course, the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, those guys were great. They were
fast.
They were probably, I think, one of the best tag teams at that time as far as the babyface tag team. They were just, and they knew how to bump. They knew how to work with big guys.
The big guys.
Yeah, and they knew how to put us over. But they also knew how to get over for themselves and that stuff. Doing all that, they knew.
Remember one time in one of them,
Madison Square Garden. I got it.
Big
that push. And he hit the light above the ring.
Wow.
Yeah, he got him so high he actually hit the light above the ring, and the people just went crazy.
Everybody stood up. They thought he was dead.
Was Shawn or Marty took it?
That was Shawn.
Yeah, it was Shawn.
But working with those two guys, they were great guys to work with. Love working with them.
Yeah. Did you think that Shawn was going to take off like he did? Did you realize like one day he's going to be a huge singles star?
No, not at the time. Marty and Shawn always kind of had a beef between the two of them a little bit. They always had a little problem between the two of them.
Marty almost beat him up.
Yeah, Marty beat him up a few times.
Yeah, he told us.
But like I say, the both of them, I thought they'd last for a long time as a tag and that stuff, and because they went well together.
At what point did Vince actually try to split you guys up, and were you guys resentful?
I don't know if I was so resentful. I love working with my partner. I mean, I would never want another tag team partner, put it that way. It comes down to that he had promised pretty much one thing. He's going to say, you're going to go work with Warrior, you're going to work with Hogan. That's pretty much what it was in that stuff.
That was the plan.
Right.
And then I work with Warrior, he'll be working with Hogan.
Yeah, and then, like a lot of other things, things are sad, but things don't happen.
It never happened.
Yeah, it was just, it was kind of sad, because, I said, part of me pretty said, you know what, we'll do that. Let's go take our opportunity, try making that big money like that and that stuff, and maybe afterwards we can get back together again.
Right.
Yeah, he was good to me.
What are your memories of Vader?
Vader, big Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tough, big man, big body, but I got along with him.
You also went over to New Japan again, and you worked with Scott Norton over there.
Scotland, yeah.
What are your memories of going back over to Japan?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to have opportunity to take up with Scott. And in that time, Scott was pretty over in Japan. He was the only big guy in Japan, so they give him a push. And, it was good for me to, take up with
Was
him.
the money good over there?
Money's really good in
Yeah,
Japan.
back there,
Yeah.
I think you guys held the IWGP tag titles, right?
No, not me.
No, it was just
It was him and
Hercules.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bless his heart.
Did you guys like working in Japan better, or did you like working in the States better?
Well, different style. I like them both, but I like working in the States. It's a little more easier.
It's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
In Japan, you fight for your life.
You work hard.
You work hard.
Very hard.
Not fight for your life, but you work a little hard.
Was there any heat on you guys ever from when you guys first actually, I'll ask you first. How do you guys get paired together as a tag team? Whose idea was that to put you guys together?
I think it was Tassimo, huh?
Yeah, it was Dusty. Actually, you know what it was is that when I first came into the business, I came to NWA and everybody told me, "Oh, you gotta see Barbarian. You gotta see Barbarian." Well, I see Barbarian. The first thing I see when I see his wife carrying around this little baby boy, and I always see these big feet hanging out. That's what everybody says. My God, he's got huge kids and that stuff. And you see Barb trade the gym the way it was and that stuff. I mean, where I lived in Minnesota at the time, we didn't have Tongan people, so we didn't see big people like island people like this and that stuff. But just it was nice because Barb and me just kind of paired together really nice, which was a really nice thing. And then just the way it kind of worked, everything else, and actually him and me actually had a match against each other in Atlanta, Georgia. And
I remember that.
And
I was fighting for my life.
I was fighting for my life too, because after I stiffed him, he came after me. But after I was in Kansas City, we came back and the territory was kind of hurting there a little bit in the NWA at that time, and Dusty had the idea of bringing Barb and me together. It just happened to work really good. Total workhorse.
Who'd you guys travel with?
When we were
In NWA, yeah.
just mostly when we traveled was Barb.
We used to travel most of the time.
Ivan, Paul Jones, four of us.
Ivan, Paul Jones.
Yeah, the four of
Remember
us.
Paul Jones?
Yeah,
Yeah, the four of us.
Any good road stories from around that time?
Many road blood stories.
Stories. I'm trying to think of a good one here. Oh boy, I don't know. I guess one of them that was good was we all had a room where we did a show up in New York, and I even after the show and as we started drinking in the room and that stuff. And I was when I even started walking around, and boom, he went down, he hit his head right in the radiator thing down there, wham, out cold on the floor. Wow. I just said, what the heck, It was, there's always a lot of good road stories. The end of it, it's hard to remember a lot of them from back then, being a long time ago now and that. And really, when we went out back then, we really didn't stay over in towns, like the WWF. So there's not as many road stories on there.
Right.
There's WWF many more road stories.
I'll ask you about that coming up. Now, Barbarian, you have one of the toughest reputations in the business. Besides Haku, they say if you ask anybody who the two toughest guys are, it's going to be you and Haku.
Haku.
Right. Really?
No, Haku. I never mentioned my name. I say Haku.
What exactly happened in the bar fight you got into where you bit somebody's nose off or something?
No.
That was Haku.
Was it Haku? Okay. But you were also into some bar fight or something.
Yeah.
You beat up like a million guys at once or something?
No. Just went crazy. When you're young, you do wild things. And,
Right.
And I don't drink anymore. That's a reason. And, I try to be. I'm a nice guy when I don't drink, but when I drink, some people when they drink, they change. Yeah?
Right.
But that's
You're
what
too
happened.
big.
Yeah.
Was Vince surprised when you guys? Who approached you? Did Vince approach you guys, or did you guys make a call to New York?
Actually, it was Sam Houston's dad at the time.
Yeah.
He gave us a call. He got a hold of, I think, Barb. Got a hold of Barb down there.
Yeah.
And then Barb called me, and then they set up for us to fly up to Atlanta with Vince, Hulk, Pat Patterson
When they
at the time.
did that movie.
Yeah, they were doing that movie at the time.
With Zeus and all?
Yeah, with Zeus, right.
Right.
That's what they were doing at the time.
Yeah.
And they flew us in there, and they said, we'd like to have you guys. And right away, Barb never spoke. This is the only time I ever heard him spoke. Is how
I
fast
don't
you need
speak
us.
much.
He said, how fast you need us.
You guys were contract free, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he said, we want you here, and we want you up there in 3 days.
Wow.
Barb says, good.
Huh.
Boom. That was it.
Was Vince shocked that you guys didn't have contracts?
Not really. That's because Vince had contracts, but the only ones under full, I could say full contracts, under a money type contract was, of course, Hogan,
Right.
Andre, Ultimate Warrior. Everybody else was under a daily contract.
Right. I guess, how did Dusty take that you were leaving?
He never expressed, but I know he took it hard.
Yeah,
I'm sure he did because he had,
yeah.
we were one of the top things at the time with the Great American Bash and that stuff, But as in any business, it's like if you have a really good opportunity, you got to try taking it. If you pass it up, it may never come again.